What's going on? This is RJ from Game News USA, and today we're going to go over NFL Week 14 recap. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you'd like to support the channel. Alright, let's do this. Starting with Thursday Night Football, the Detroit Lions were able to defeat the Green Bay Packers 34-31. This game had little to no defense. The Lions kept going forward on fourth down. 2 fourth-and-goal touchdowns and a fourth down where they went for it to ice the game after kicking a chip shot field goal. Won the game for the Lions, who are now 12-1 on the season. And since week 9 of 2022, have an NFL best 34-9 record. They are ready. They are hungry to go try and win a Super Bowl as they hang on to the top seed in the NFC. The Packers, they're pretty good. They're like 9-4, but their 4 losses have been Detroit twice, Minnesota, and Philly. They're going to have to get through 1, 2, maybe even all 3 of those teams to get to a Super Bowl themselves. They're just not quite on that level, but they play like it. Also want to point out, Broncos, Colts, Patriots, Washington, Ravens, and Texans are all on byes. That possibly is the last bye weeks, I think, on the schedule, if I'm not wrong. So next up, we go to the Sunday early window. The Jaguars defeat the Tennessee Titans 10-6. I feel really bad for the fans that live in Tennessee and Florida that were forced to watch this garbage football game between two teams that are going nowhere in a hurry. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins defeating the New York Jets 32-26 in overtime. Aaron Rodgers actually looked good. He threw for over 300 yards, but he couldn't help but catch the L. The Jets are on a long losing streak, and it just keeps getting worse as Aaron Rodgers is nearing the end of his career. He will try to maybe point to performances like this to try to tell somebody, I'm not done yet. But I'm sorry. Once you go to the Jets, you've already went to the bottom of the barrel. There's nothing left for you. Miami has a pulse. Just a little bit of a pulse. A little bit of life left in them with Tua as they're trying to somehow make the playoffs. Next up, we have Falcons-Vikings. This was supposed to be the Kirk Cousins revenge game. Instead, he got his ass kicked 42-21. The Vikings are 11-2, and they're staying right on the Lions' ass. They are right there. We could be on a path to a all-time classic Week 18 showdown, possibly with the 1 seed, possibly with the division on the line. So they keep winning, and they keep putting pressure on the Lions. Falcons have fallen off. They were a division leader. Now the Bucs are right there. They do have the tiebreaker over the Bucs on head-to-head. They beat them both times. But the Falcons are looking awfully shaky, and the Bucs' schedule's looking awfully good. Next up, we have another garbage game like we did Jags and Titans, but this is NFC style. The Saints defeat the Giants 14-11. There was a last-second blocked field goal to spare us having to watch overtime between these two teams that suck ass. Then next up, we have Philadelphia playing those feisty Carolina Panthers who have some life in them. They're actually kind of fun to watch. Bryce Young actually turning it around a little bit. But the Eagles were able to continue their win streak by defeating the Panthers 22-16. That didn't stop comments by Brandon Graham about Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown maybe having a falling out behind the scenes. What's going on there? But the Eagles keep winning, so A.J. Brown, as long as you keep winning, bud, chill out. Saquon Barkley will rush you right into the NFC Championship game if you let him. Alright, then we have the Steelers taking care of business against the Browns 27-14. They lost to the Browns a few weeks ago. They didn't take them lightly this time. They got the dub. Pittsburgh's looking good. They're winning games. They got offense. They got defense. They got coaching. Don't underestimate the Steelers. Don't underestimate Russell Wilson cooking. George Pickens, though, might have pulled his hamstring, so that could be a problem. But Steelers win 27-14. And next up, we have the Bucs. We talked about them earlier, trying to get on a roll here and take the NFC South from the Falcons. The Bucs beat the Raiders 28-13. No surprise there. We're moving into the 3 o'clock game. Some big news for the NFC West here. The Seahawks were able to get some separation from the rest of the division. They dispatched of the Arizona Cardinals 30-18. Arizona's starting to fall off a bit. They were the division leader for a little while there, but they lost a couple games now. The Seahawks with a big road win there goes a long way for them to be able to wrap up the division, which could actually get them a 3 seed in these playoffs on a home playoff game. So yeah, big deal for the Seahawks, who are kind of under the radar right now. And other NFC West implications, big time. The 49ers defeated the Bears 38-13. Brock Purdy looked awesome in this game. The 49ers looked great. Is this going to be them going forward, or was this a one-off? Is this just bad Bears? Bears season's in the toilet. They'll be looking for a coach. But the biggest game of the whole week that really shook things up in both conferences, the Los Angeles Rams were able to defeat the Buffalo Bills 44-42. The Rams and the Bills played no defense in this game. It was all offensive showdown. It was Stafford. It was Josh Allen. And Josh Allen brought his cake for sure. 3 rushing touchdowns. 3 passing touchdowns. No one's done that in a football game ever except for Otto Graham in 1954. Josh Allen put up 42 points and lost. The Bills' defense was suspect. Now they're falling behind the Chiefs for the 1 seed in the AFC. More on that later. And Sean McDermott had a really bad blunder to end this game. He took a quarterback sneak and then called timeout with a minute left. He needed 2 scores. There was a pass interference in that drive. They could have kicked the field goal immediately, been down 6, and then try to get the ball back with all their timeouts. They didn't do it. They got really close down to the 1, so I get trying to punch it in. But even if you're going to run there, which I disagree with, you should throw. But if you get tackled in bounds, do not use your timeout, even if you got to go no huddle, because you'll never make up the 40 seconds the Rams would try to run off the clock. Sure enough, they didn't recover the onside kick. The Rams ran off the rest of the clock. You never touched the ball again. It was a horrible coaching decision to call that timeout and run the ball on 1st and goal from the 1. It made no sense at all. Needed 2 scores. You were down 9, so a touchdown and a field goal would actually win you the game. Should have took a field goal earlier, if anything. So many things you could have done better there than to have to try to rely on an onside kick. That needs cleaned up because the Bills are going to be in some dogfights if that defense keeps looking like dog shit. The Rams right there in the division, they feel like a playoff team that nobody would want to play. I bet you every single team in the NFC is hoping the Seahawks hold on to that division and the Rams miss the playoffs, because no one want to see the Rams right now after the roll that they're on, honestly. And then we go to Sunday Night Football. By hook or by crook, by script or off script, the Chiefs are able to win again. 19-17. You can't make this stuff up. Reality is stranger than fiction. 19-17 was the same score they beat the Raiders with last week. 4 field goals again from the 3rd string kicker. A doink to win the game and win their 9th straight division title, which only trails them behind the Patriots with 11 for the most all-time consecutively. The Chiefs are now 2 games clear in the 1 seed of everybody else, including the Bills and Steelers. They're feeling awfully good about themselves. The AFC will have to run through Arrowhead. The Chiefs can't blow anybody out. They can't seem to lose to anybody close either. They're a problem late in games. You might have to do unconventional things to beat them. The Lions may be the only one that stand a chance. We saw the Bills beat them, so maybe they can have a chance. But we'll see. Steelers, Texans get to play them later in the, on in the season, so we'll be able to see how they match up against the Chiefs and what they can do. They're finding a way to make it work. I got to give them credit where credit's due. You find a way to win. That's the name of the game. That's what you got to do. Great leadership in that building, for sure. Chargers have a bright future. They got to get Justin Herbert some weapons. I think they will this offseason. And look out next year. But they are a next year team. Do not get it twisted. They will make the playoffs this year. They maybe even win a playoff game. But they are a next year team. This is a Harbaugh year 2 thing. Then we go to Monday Night Football. The Bengals were able to stop the bleeding. They were able to win against the Cowboys 27-20. Probably too little too late. Both these teams probably just a little too far out of the playoff picture to actually make a difference. But the Cowboys fucked up on a punt return after a block, and that set up the Bengals to win the game. Joe Burrow is awesome. Jamar Chase is awesome. Get him a fucking coach. Get him some fucking defense, and they'll win some games. I'm already looking at next year. Belichick, you need to take the call. If the Bengals call, you take the call. That's all I got to say. I think it'd be a match made in heaven. But we'll see. We'll see. Dallas, you need to fire Mike McCarthy. You might also need to make the same call to Belichick and hope he chooses you, which he shouldn't do over Burrow and the Bengals. So, with that being said, guys, that was the NFL recap. I hope you liked the video. If you did, let me know in the comments below. And let me know your favorite team. Let me know who you think's going to win the Super Bowl, what you thought of Week 14, all that crap. And I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Peace. Have a good one.